Well, I'll get straight away. I'll give it a few seconds.
Go.
Get it live?
Ready?
Yeah.
Okay, we're back.
Very disappointing that we had to break it because now we're starting with 0 viewers. And I know a lot of you will come back in, but it just means that you've got to, which is, so Michelle, if you can share that out on Facebook and Twitter and all the other bits and pieces, also in our probably first in our chat thing on YouTube community. So if you've just joined me, if you've just come into this new show, we were 3 hours into a live show. We've baked, pass me a lemon meringue pies. I won't go out of camera shot because some people have just come in. Just one pie, that's all right. Just grab one pie. Michelle, bring the whole tray over to me. But we baked these beautiful little lemon meringue pies. They're still piping hot and warm. We've got our clotted cream on the side. I've got one that's gone in the fridge. That's later on for our scones that we're making, our beautiful scones clotted cream. We've made our fresh, we've just made beautiful strawberry jam, whoops, which is set nicely. It's still a little bit warm. That's how fresh this is. I'm cutting through another one of my pretty little lemon meringue pies. I'm so hungry. And Michelle will tell me in a minute if some of you will come back in.
So we're making girls there. Hi, Steve. Welcome back.
Hi, Kelly.
Hawkins, hi. Byron, Steve, I'm looking forward to your key lime donuts this summer.
That's what Byron said earlier on.
But he's come back in and said.
It must be getting late. I've got a little bit of lemon zest. Oh, that's nice.
So it's 1:30 in the morning on that side of the States. Lady G says hello.
Hey, Lady G. I'm so hungry. There's an old saying, I won't say it, but I'm so hungry I could eat anything. And this lemon meringue tart, I've had lemon drizzle, elderflower lemon drizzle cake and lemon meringue tart for breakfast, lunch and dinner. So what are we making next, Michelle?
Eclairs.
Chocolate eclairs. Miniature chocolate eclairs. And I'm going to do 2 different toppings on these. I want them small enough and dainty enough that they can be served on an afternoon tea. And I want to do 1 chocolate eclair. I'm not going to do my coffee eclair that I did the other week. 1 chocolate eclair filled with fresh cream, and I'm also going to do 1 with a raspberry topping as well, if it works. I am waning a little bit. So, are we back to the chats, Michelle?
Yeah, sorry, I'm doing anything. Okay, Lady G says, Steve, when are you going to make that chicken?
Chicken is going to be a little bit later on. I don't want the chicken getting too cold on the side. I've got to make my cream eclairs next.
And then Jamaican Girl says it's 6:24 a.m. here in the UK. It's sunny today, perfect weather for barbecue.
Beautiful.
And Maxie Blake says, hi there, why do you want cakes for breakfast now? No.
I don't. I could do with something more substantial, but I'm trying to, I'm quite looking forward to, maybe we should do our chicken.
If you want to.
Go to a savoury?
Yeah. We were just doing the eclairs so they can cool down, because we need to cool before you
Okay, I'll make a quick choux pastry. We won't take too long on this. I'll get Michelle to remind me the numbers and figures so I can get this. We're going to start with a water-based pastry, which we're going to cook on the stove. We'll let that cool down, and then we're going to add some egg into it. So we'll end up with what is a classic choux pastry. I will do this quite quickly.
3/4 cup of water and 85 grams of soft butter.
So the first thing we're going to do is, and now is this a lot of choux pastry again?
So now to make last time.
So we won't be 8 1/2. So we go with the whole thing. So the first thing we're going to do is take 3/4 of a cup of water, a little splash more, because when you carry these things, you get a little bit less. Butter in here as well. Heat it up to let the butter, the water melt. The best to have your butter at room temperature or softer even, because choux pastry is very much the balance of water is quite important, and if we let this cook too long on the stove, small amounts of water like this will evaporate pretty quickly. So then you end up with a lower water ratio in your flour, or a lower hydration, and they won't bake properly. So how much butter are we going for in this?
85 grams.
Which is how much in ounces? 85, about 3. So 85 grams, 3 ounces of salted butter again. I'll do these quickly because after this I'm quite keen to get on and do some southern fried chicken. We're going to do some nice little tender strips of chicken, and we're going to, oh, I'm so hungry. I can't talk about this. It'll make me too hungry. I'm going to spice them up nicely. We're going to crumb them, we're going to crumb them, and we're going to fry them. Michelle's going to do that for me out in the garden because I don't want all the smell of frying in here. And then we are going to assemble them in a homemade masa taco, or masa tortilla.
To make tacos? Yeah,
to make tacos. Whoops, got to tar my weights. How much are we going for, butter?
85.
85. Well, probably most of the butter I've got here, to be honest. Should have weighed the little pack I had here. I might have had about 85. I'm a little under. Not to worry. We've got more butter on the side. Let me just see. 77. It is important to get the right amount of butter. Choux pastries are quite, and they're not tricky actually. They're quite easy to make, but they, you do want to get your measurements right. 85, spot on. In with my water. I'm just going to pop that on the stove and just bring it up to heat. I might put a little extra salt in, although it's a salted.
1/4 teaspoon of salt and 3/4 of a teaspoon of sugar.
Yeah, I think I will put a little extra salt.
Remember.
Bit of salt, just a little pinch of salt, and a little bit of sweetener by way of sugar. That is going to give me. Could you weigh my flour out, Michelle?
Yeah.
That's going to give me a sort of a watery. I'll show you it. It's a watery, sort of buttery solution. A little bit of sugar in there, to which I'm going to add some flour into. We're going to keep. Oh, just eating the butter off the thing. That's not so nice. We're going to keep the heat very low on the stove. We don't want it too hot, and we're just going to mix it with a wooden spoon until the flour and the butter and the water bind together in what looks like a Play-Doh almost. It does actually look quite like a Play-Doh. Should be quite a smooth paste. We then take that off the heat. I'm probably going to tip that out on the side to let it cool down as quickly as possible, because we've got to add egg yolks into this. The next thing is to add egg yolks. If we add them too early on when the flour and that is too hot, we'll cook the yolks.
Yes, whole eggs.
Whole eggs. Yes, we do. We do. I can't bring you over to the stove, I'm afraid, so I'm trying to explain to you visually. Those of you that saw the recipe the other day on my channel when I made the eclairs, you know how I make it. Where's my wooden spoon? I just prefer a wooden spoon. Let me just go over here.
Here.
It's got sat on a chair over there having a rest.
It got washed.
It got washed and then went over and had a sit on its own chair.
It did.
Problem is, it's the other side. I can't see it. So my water, to explain to you visually what's going on, my water is just starting to bubble. The fats, the butter in there is just starting to dissolve. As I see the last bit of butter dissolve, I'm going to add my flour in and mix it quite vigorously. I've turned the heat down a little bit. Don't keep it too hot. So in goes the flour. Turn my heat right down. And at the moment, what you've got is like a sort of gloopy mess. It's a bit ugly. So it's like Play-Doh that's split, if that makes any sense. Not good television, is it?
It's got starry back.
Now the flour starter, it's starting to form into what looks more like children's Play-Doh. I'm taking it off the heat now because I don't want it to heat too long. There's a tendency to leave this on sometimes a bit too long. And what that happens again is your water dissolves. So just come down here. So I've got a paste that's fairly consistent in texture. Now I tend to prefer to cool this as quickly as I can. So what I'm going to do, it's quite an oily, sort of greasy batter, but if I spread this out on a board like this, it'll cool a lot quicker. And actually, it'll do even better if you put it onto a flat metal board or a stone surface.
Okay, so just interrupt. Two technical things. We're on the home Wi-Fi.
Okay.
And the other one still says it's streaming. Just stop it. It says stop streaming. 3 hours, 14 minutes.
Yes. Can you stop it?
Yeah.
So the other one's still streaming. I've got to find a way of getting you onto a higher quality internet. And when you've stopped streaming.
I stopped streaming.
Okay, you come around here, Michelle. Keep the beautiful people entertained.
Hello, beautiful people. I'll play with Stephen's Play-Doh. It's still much too hot. If he has the eggs, we'll have scrambled egg on our choux pastry, which will not be good.
Now, you will have noticed that the quality of the video has probably gone down a little bit. And that's because
we don't have good internet here.
We don't have good internet, but...
And we worked out a way of using the mobile. But when we swapped it over, we went back onto the house internet. So that wasn't good. Now, somebody was saying in the comments, I was just starting to read this before I came around here, asking about what time it is where everybody is. And I think that person was from New Zealand, but I didn't quite catch who it was who said it. Oh. Yeah, it's getting very technical over there.
It is because we can't connect. I go back to the old computer that's virtually died.
Oh, because you've got to get it off of that one.
Yes.
See, the mobile one is connected to the other computer that had no power. And now, hopefully, might do a little bit of a tiny twirly bit and then go on to the mobile data, shouldn't it? I think. So it's just got to get some info off of the phone and put it onto the laptop, and then we should be good. We should be good then, because then he can come straight back. We've got a bowl somewhere. I'm just looking, yes, to add his eggs to this choux pastry, which is still a bit hot.
It is. Mobile data hotspots is on. Okay.
So nearly there.
We're not really, because I've got to